Hello, welcome to this new episode of the Alex Show TV. And as you can see, I have a guest and I have my very good friend Tony from London on the show again. How are you, mate?
Hi Alex, good mate. I'm pretty good. No complaints. How you doing?
Fine, thank you. So we're supposed to record with Jeannie today. Unfortunately, she's a little bit under the weather, so we're gonna do that another day. But we said, hey, why not? Let's record something. And as we continue on this series, mate, we have kind of gone into this series that we like to talk a lot about the mind and what really see it as that the mind is fine as long as it doesn't control you. It came to me that this topic, and it's probably gonna seem a little bit like clickbait or something, but it's not like that because I think it's very catchy title, Breaking the Barriers of the Mind. And what I'm trying to say with that is finally trying to achieve that moment that it's not that we have to be in Zen state all the time, but we can try and maybe make the mind work for us by breaking those barriers, I think those limitations that tries to put in us. And that's what I mean with breaking the barriers of the mind. So what do you think of that?
I always love talking about the mind, the egoic mind, the programming, as opposed to the present mind, like in the senses now. So yeah, absolutely my cup of tea. This is fascinating. What are the barriers of the mind? You say of the mind or to the mind? Of the mind, isn't it?
Breaking the barriers of the mind. In a way, let's think that the mind is what is keeping us kind of secluded in this fortress that we invent ourselves, if you think about it, because it's in our mind. If you think about it, spiritual or something like that. And actually breaking these barriers, tearing down these walls that the mind will try to keep us on this limited, controlled state. And we know in fear, in rage, in loss, in all of these emotions that really drain us. That apparently they are serving someone else. By the time this show comes out, there's going to be a very good show that I ported from the Spanish channel because the support video was in Spanish. It's just that I found a new site called HeyGen that will translate up to 3 minutes of video perfectly. Really, really advanced technology. So that will come out. That's ported from the Spanish channel in perfect English. Actually, it's amazing that the voice of the narrator is identical to the one in Spanish. This show that it's already out by the time this video is going to come out basically says that there's something in this reality that is shooting at, is working towards a controller, kind of a puppeteer, for you to vibrate in these emotions in this fortress of your mind, so you actually give this entity your energy, which is like a consciousness field or something like that. So if we think about it, I mean, we don't have to be conspiranoid, maybe. All of these realities is really trying to keep in your mind. When you look at TV, when you even look at books, when you look at a newspaper, even something like a newspaper. I remember a line from a movie, Training Day, Denzel Washington saying, "It's 90% bullshit, but it entertains me." But at least he admitted it's 90% bullshit. Okay. So it's amazing how you think about it. Imagine the people that when you have said it, that you share with friends or something that you don't have a TV, and they're like, "What? I mean, you don't watch TV? You don't watch the news? You don't read a newspaper?"
No, never.
I remember a very good friend of mine, an uncle I'm very fond of that passed away a few years ago in Italy, that they're very controlled by the television. Very controlled. It's amazing how many families in Italy eat by the television at 1 p.m. They have a special news cast. They have one at 1 and one at 1:30 in another channel. So you missed it. And a lot of families switch. When the 1 to 1:30 is done, they switch to the channel 2 to get the 1:30, which is basically the same stuff, just different people, okay? Different newscasters. And one time my uncle, which very good guy, but he told me, if I didn't see it in TV, because I shared something, maybe a conspiracy theory or something, he said, "No, I don't believe it. If I didn't see it in TV, it didn't happen.
Ah, yeah, people, a lot of people like that. A lot of people are.
So that's why I'm talking with breaking the barriers of your mind, mate.
Yeah,
With really the concept of working outside the box, of really not putting any. I was even talking with my wife a few days ago about something that's not really the point, sharing what.
Mm.
That we came to the conclusion no one is watching us. No one who makes these rules. Okay. Who is checking what do you do and what you don't do? No one, mate.
ah,
You are in your own prison. You said, oh, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't do that. Who says?
yes,
You want to be alone, be alone. If you want to go out 7 days a week, that's perfect, man.
yeah, yeah,
But that's why I'm talking with breaking the barriers of the mind, because I think those barriers, those walls
yeah,
are created by us.
yeah, definitely. That great subject, and it is definitely it may be started initially from the external, like school, your parents, friends, the wider world, and television is the big one.
That's sorry to interrupt you, but school is
Yeah,
basically like the newspaper. Okay, it's
yeah,
in the
yeah,
same category. Okay?
yeah. So they have to get their message out first. The young as we are, the youngest as we are, they have to get us when we're young, like, and get their message over to us as quick as possible, so that we can't think too much. So we're bombarded with their message at the earliest age, and therefore it's like we're kept hostage by their message. And once you're young, and if you go to school and all your friends are thinking similar things as you are, which is what they taught you in the class or off the television, it's more difficult to be an individual, be yourself, because everyone you know is thinking the same things. So it's kind of groupthink from the start. And there's an atmosphere. It's like they call it peer pressure, being that people you know, if you don't follow what they're doing, you feel pressured into doing it, peer pressure. And that's also on a society level, society pressure. So it takes a strong character or a smart character to think for themselves and step outside of the herd, as Joel would say, and Pat, and step away from the herd. And I've always been a daydreamer in school. Always on my reports, Tony's a daydreamer. Tony was looking out the window. Tony doesn't focus on his work. I was clever. I done all my work, but when I had enough of the teacher, I'd turn away and look out the window and watch the birds and the sky. Um, so I knew when to time out. I'd be like, "Yeah, that's it, time out. I'm looking out the window now. I've had enough of that. I can't take anymore." So I had a threshold that I knew was healthy for me, and I decided when I wanted to give my attention and how much to it. So I think what they want is your attention, their consciousness. So when you give your attention to something outside of yourself without any filter, without any limits, you give all your attention to that external, they control your life, because your attention is, there's none for you left. You have none for yourself. And it's like a fuel. So, and when they filled your head with their programming and their rules and their beliefs, you don't know any other way to live. So our attention, our consciousness is what they need to feed on. They need our consciousness as a food source, in a way, to control us and make us do what they want. So, yeah, I think the fortress in our mind that we build from the start, we get it given, but we create more, we add to it, and we build even bigger castles in the mind that keep us trapped, because that's their maze, like the Yellow Brick Road, the Wizard of Oz. They're building their Yellow Brick Road in the mind, and we follow it, abstract thinking. So, yeah, we kept hostage by these ideas and beliefs, narratives, stories. Um, and that is it, really, mate. Exactly what you say. We're hostages to the mind, in the mind. So I think a good way to start off is to be brave. Think for yourself. Keep saying that, but it's so true. Question everything. Question everything. And it depends on where you're at, what stage in life you're at. If you're young, you may have to go through a phase where you hit rock bottom, or you get a disappointment, your friends turn on you, or something happens, then you question it. But yeah, question your life all the time, and question what you're doing, why are you doing this? So, and then the thoughts in the head, they crumble. They bit by bit, they fall away because you realise the stupidity of it. Think, why am I doing this? That's no good. No, I'm getting rid of that. So, question it is the way. But yeah, there's a sort of ambience, there's an atmosphere of fitting in, and I think that's a powerful part of life. But yeah, be brave enough to step out of the herd, and I think that's my starting point, mate. Yeah, that's where I'd start it at. Yeah, there's a lot there.
I think, mate, that it takes a lot, especially when you are young, honestly. Maybe with age, you and I that are over 50, it gets easier. But
Yeah.
when you are in your teens, early 20s, it takes a lot to be different, okay?
Yeah,
To be comfortable in saying, I don't want to be like everyone that is going out to a pub and getting wrong every week. That's the normal thing when you're in college and that. Hey, I don't want to do that. I want to do something different. Maybe I want to stay in. Maybe I want to read. Maybe I want to, I don't know. So for me, maybe not when I was in my teens and 20s, I was pretty conforming there. But I remember when I went to live to Europe and that, something came to me that I cannot, I mean, I remember especially, and I've shared this, I think privately and maybe even on some shows, that I even had people that because of my accent, there was, oh, you're from Mexico, whatever. And I was working there as an Italian. I had the Italian passport, but yes, of course, I said, no, I've been in both places. I was born in Italy, live in Mexico for a long while. And a lot of people will just write me off there. I mean, they judge you from where you're from, they judge you how you sound. So I'm not gonna care about that. Okay.
Right.
It's like I totally took away the importance of the opinion of others, to be honest with you.
yeah,
And it has worked great for me. I couldn't give, I mean, that's probably the best advice I can give anyone. Don't listen to others, listen to yourself. Okay. And be
yeah,
concerned of your opinion of yourself much more if you're gonna give any weight to the opinion of others. Okay. Because for me, it's amazing the level of judgment made for someone to be judging you. I mean, to say to, oh yeah, you must do this, you must do that, you shouldn't do. Yeah. I remember one person in a work environment that left me with a hanging up. He says, I'm not gonna say hello to a Mexican
Oh,
person, a person in Finland, and I was like, wow,
wow.
you should, you're probably God created, you're probably something special, and I mean,
That's what he thinks. Yeah,
so.
that's terrible, isn't it?
So I think going back to breaking the barriers of the mind, it's also breaking these barriers of there's this society watching you, this society judging you, this system judging you. It's all in your mind. If you take that away, it has no power.
No,
So people can talk for sure. They can say whatever they want, but you
yeah,
are the one that are gonna give it importance or not. Okay.
exactly.
I'm not saying people are not gonna talk. You cannot control that. It's there.
No,
But the importance of that talk, you are the one. You are the judge of that.
yeah, true. Yeah, it's people's inability to recognise other people as valuable and unique. Say, I think this world seems to put in the furniture in our mind of an architecture, and the goal is money. So the machine is built by the beliefs and the ideas and narratives. That's the machinery. And we follow the machinery, the paths, the narratives, in the pursuit of money, which is supposed to give us happiness. And people are so locked in on that path that they don't realize that they're even on a path. They don't even realize when they're talking to you or me or other people how rude they sound and how egotistical their programming is, because it's normal to them that, well, of course you're not as good as me because I'm a Finland, I'm from, Arizona, I'm from Scotland or whatever, because in their head they're on the top of the mountain and they're successful and they're the example. So yeah, it's not being aware of life itself, at people in the present moment and living and speaking to them and listening properly and learning and having an open mind and knowing that you don't know everything and learning and enjoying life like that. But no, they've got all the answers. they know it all because they went to college or they went to university, and there's nothing I can tell them, nothing we can tell them. So that is even more an evidence of the system's programming, that it tells them, don't listen to anyone. You're an expert. You went to college. You went to school. You know, you know it all. You don't need to listen to other people. So that's a double barrier. Like it's like you can't even get through. Yeah.
And it goes back, I'm sorry to say it, mate, but it goes back to money, because I remember another person in another situation. We were in Qatar, Qatar, that little country out there in the Middle East. I was also there for work
Yeah, I've heard
as
of it.
a consultant. Yeah, very small country. A lot of the people that serve you, mate, there are not Qataris. They are immigrants, okay? A lot of Indians, Pakistanis, Sri Lanka, especially Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, from those type of countries.
Yeah, good
So in the
people.
hotel, it was full of Sri Lankan, Bangladeshis, a little Pakistanis. They were more in the higher position, maybe the manager.
Sure.
But there was this guy from Germany, very arrogant, very full of himself, like you say. He was kind of the manager of the project, and he was very rude to the waiters and the servants. Very rude, mate. Very rude. He would clap them. Come on, dude. Yeah, fast. No.
Yeah.
It's cold. Bring me another one, and bring me
Yeah,
another
yeah.
coffee or whatever. But he just wanted to be an asshole. I'm sorry to say. So one time, mate, I was very young at the time, and I really say, what? I mean, I want to understand. Do you have a problem with them? So he says, I don't hate them because they are from Bangladesh or something. I hate them because they're poor. Oh,
Ooh.
oh my God. I remember I laughed and I said,
that's terrible.
you led me speechless. I could not say anything more. I
That's
hate them
poor.
because they're poor. Mate, I mean, that's the values they try to
Yeah,
put on us. Okay.
exactly. That's it. That's
That's
it.
the values.
Yeah.
Don't hate them because they're black, white, red, short, tall, fat, skinny.
Yeah.
Hate them because they're poor.
Yeah.
And
That's
by the
just-
way, by the way, I'm pretty sure, I'm sorry to say it, it's very sad. I'm pretty sure he's not the only one in the world. Okay.
Yeah.
A person, of course, from Germany, a lot of money. He was a big high-end manager. I mean, and you could tell me all his life, he was probably from a wealthy family. I don't know. But you could tell he was used to treating people like that. Okay.
Sure.
Like looking them downwards, and and like no one was never able to do something correct. They
Yeah.
were always idiots and that.
And in a way, it makes him feel better about himself.
Of course,
look
that's
down on
ego,
someone.
mate. That's an inflated ego. That's an ego that I'm better than these people.
That's it. Yeah.
In his mind and in his heart, I'm sure he believed he was better than all of these people.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was the values of my parents, or so I had very good parents, very sensitive in that regard, or it was just me. It was a combination of the education I got and everything. But mate, that for me was no. I mean, you hate them because they're poor.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have easily been born in Sri Lanka, and the possibilities by being born there is that you were going to end up poor.
Yes.
So imagine you now are hated because of the luck you got in this world.
That's
Okay.
it. Yeah. Yeah. It's external, isn't it? It's not.
And that has to be the mind. I mean, that has to be the. We have spoken that the Uday Husseins and the Hitlers and that it's overblown egos. It's egos that totally left unchecked for years. They get to demonic states. I never saw this person again. I don't know what happened. He was quite older than me, so maybe he's not even alive anymore. But mate, I mean, when you go like that and you think that the prices in life, as your bank account, is your job, is getting promoted, is a big house, and you really put your values in there, doesn't end well.
No. I think what it is to me, it's clear and simple. What's happening with these sort of people is they live in their head instead of in the now. And what I mean is their programming. Yeah, they have a hierarchy, a hierarchical mindset. So the system's ideas are their ideas. So therefore, the system values money. The system doesn't value poor people. It values people with money are respected. People with money are given good service. Are given, people bow down to people with money. Apparently, so I want to have money. I want to be what the system's telling me to be. So their thinking is of the system. It's just basically, like you say, implanted. So they're living a program. They're living out a program. That's exactly what they're doing. So it's abstract, meaning it's an abstract of life. It's not real. It's in their head, an abstract. So their ideas are the system's abstract ideas, as opposed to like me now, hitting me. I'm actually flesh and blood. I'm real. So it's the plant. So it's this. Everything here is solid and real. I'm real. That's what I talk to. So when I meet someone, I know they're a real person. They have feelings and they hurt and they suffer and they laugh, they cry. It's not the first thing that don't go into my head straight away. I'm always in the present now. Took a long while to get here, but I don't automatically look at what they're wearing. Oh, how much does that cost you? How much does that watch cost you? No, that's not my first question. My first question is, hello, how you doing? And wait for their answer. Listen. So I'm not judging off the first step. I'm not off the first thought. I'm judging. No, talk to them as a human being. And as like example was, I lost an iPad in philosophy once, and me and Carol and her mum went to a place in Letchworth. It was Letchworth, and I thought I lost it. It was in the toilet. And I thought, I've left it in the toilet. Went back, it wasn't there. So I went back to the class. Said, no, it's gone. It's gone. Don't worry. Philosophy said to the class, yeah, I lost an iPad last week. And one of the guys there, John, he said, well, phone up to council. Find it. You can't just let it go. I said, no, leave it. Someone else will get it. They'll probably need it more than me. And he went, no. And he pestered me. So I phoned up the council. And no, I've got nothing. I said, it's gone. Leave it. Someone else who needs it more has got it. The next day, I got a phone call. Carol's sister. She said, I've got it in the car. It was down the side of the seat. I went, oh, right, thanks. So by me not grasping, not worrying, it came back anyway. So the universe gives you what you need. So if I was to, I panic about losing something, that's the mindset of the system. And they want you to grasp and worry and fret and stress and value money and material goods. And I don't. And I think that's the difference. You need to have this, you value life, not the abstract systems narratives. And that's the two sides. Yeah.
That's a wonderful position, mate, and I'm totally with you. And it's never going to be enough on a scarcity world, because you'll be surprised that people that have a lot of money, they're still very concerned on what they don't have. And I think it gets to the point, for example, when you're traveling first class and you're staying, to the people of saying, hey, now I want a private plane. Because for some people, when they start traveling private, some people even say, I'm never going to go back to a commercial plane, to an airport, with everyone there going through security. No, they get into their car, they go their little ladder, and they step into their own plane. Maybe it's a rental or whatever, but it's a private plane. Okay.
Yeah.
And there was a very well-known story here in my city of a person that unfortunately the plane crashed, and they were coming from Las Vegas, which is like 3 hours flight. It was a private plane, and after the whole family died in the crash, which I was very surprised to learn there was only one pilot. Usually, in those type of jets, you should have two pilots. But apparently, for some reason, there was only one pilot. And the plane crashed in bad weather. They were saying, well, they were happy. They were to Las Vegas. They love Las Vegas. And as far as why it was a private plane, not a commercial plane, well, as they got wealthy, they said, I'm never traveling commercial again. Okay. Like, those are the things. Yeah. I mean, you get to the point that that I don't know if a lot of people that have a lot of money are more stressed of losing and going back, like saying, I'm never going back to a smaller house. I'm never
Yeah.
going back to doing breakfast myself. I need to be served all the time. I need to have a house full of servants. I
Yeah.
need to have a chauffeur. I need to have a driver,
That's it.
people doing things for me. And it's this notion that they want to sell us,
Yeah.
man. It's this
Yeah.
notion that they want to sell us. And that that's the goal. If you're not
Yeah.
shooting for that, there's something wrong with you. And no, I disagree. As you say, I disagree
Yeah.
completely. I mean,
Yeah.
I also believe the universe has helped me a lot of times. Trust me, mate, there were a lot of times in my life. There were moments
Yeah.
I felt there was no solution, and suddenly the next day a solution appeared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it came to me. I didn't go to the solution.
Yeah.
So, and the same has happened to you, I'm sure. And
Many times.
and it's just signs that, hey, you have what you need. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe concentrate again the barriers. We
Yeah.
create our own prisons.
Yeah.
In a way, I've been sharing, and I had a show on the Spanish channel that I don't know, maybe I didn't get the message through that I said. In a way, we create our own hell. Okay, especially
Yeah.
spiritually speaking,
Yeah.
on this notion that I have right now that everything is to self-judgment, that karma is self-judgment, and it's really a contemplation of what you have done. It's really just contemplating and saying, yes, I'm Uday Hussein. I did all this. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm gonna pay it this way, kind of in an honor system. Okay.
Yeah.
And because we are attached to this idea that everything is coming from judgment from upstairs, from out there. Okay, that we have this
Yeah.
judge all the time.
Yeah.
And I think this idea goes back that society is judging us all the time. Hey, what have you done? Hey, are you doing this? Hey, are you going on holiday this year? Hey,
Yeah.
why did you change your children? I mean, sometimes stuff. I remember when I was struggling, mate, financially, how I will hate that I will ask help to someone. And the first question is still saying, okay, let's see how I can help you. Or what happened? Why are you in this situation? Why
Sure.
what?
Yeah.
I mean, why what? I'm in
As if
this situation. Yeah.
It's called life. It's called life.
Yeah, no, yes, but it's there's something more, mate. I'm not saying it's morbid, but it's maybe their own
Yeah.
being afraid of being in my situation. Because maybe
Yes.
we're doing equally and now I'm not doing as well as them.
Yeah.
So it's what happened? How you got in this situation that you need money? Why? How
Yeah.
does that work?
Yeah.
Okay. That was their main concern. Not that
Yeah.
I was a friend or a family member needing help.
Yeah.
It was like, explain to me why what? I
Yeah.
wanted to make an explanation. Let's
Yes.
get a coffee some other day. Today I need help. Can you help me?
Yeah.
No, all right, let me call someone else.
That's
Okay,
it.
so
That's it.
maybe
Maybe that's what they see in you, mate. Maybe that's what it was, the fear that they could be in your shoes next week.
it was
So
exactly that.
how can I prevent that? How do I not get in the same boat as he's in?
Yeah, let me get information on how that happens so I don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. Yeah. But I was saying, I keep writing it in the comments on different channels. Narratives are mazes for the mind. And it comes to me all the time. I love it. It's like belief systems, ideas, stories, and narratives, all in one ball. You wrap it in a ball. So, but I call it narratives are mazes for the mind. And like when you go into a maze, like the film The Shining, at the end he goes into a maze. Do you remember the maze?
Oh, I remember. Amazing, man. Amazing.
Yeah, and they can't get out. And Danny's being chased by Jack Nicholson with the axe, and they're trapped, and he can't find the exit. He can't find the exit. So,
but that's the place at the end. He's all in ice or something like that, right?
He's frozen up, and he's
frozen up. Yeah,
that's him. Yeah, and the maze. That's the maze. You get lost in up here. This is the maze. So when you follow a narrative, a story, someone tells you a story, you watch a film. You know, there's something on the TV, the news. These are all mazes. These are all stories and narratives. And they're meant to keep you lost. They're meant to keep you up there. So you go, oh, how do I find a solution, i.e. a way out? Oh, how can I fix this story? How do I get out of this maze? And they throw these stories at you and you're completely locked up here. You can't get out because there's so many stories you're trying to find a solution to. You never can because they just keep throwing more. the trick is not to go into the maze. The trick is not to entertain them, to turn your direct attention away and get into the now, into here, what's real. So yeah, narratives are mazes for the mind. And I can't express that strongly enough. It's literally take your attention back from the mind and the stories they're telling you and live your own life. And I think that is the barrier that is the mind. It's like stories, ideas, beliefs, narratives. They are the barriers of the mind. They keep you locked upstairs in a nutshell, I would say.
Yes, mate, I totally agree. I mean, we again, we create our own stories. We create our own mazes. We create our own prisons. We create our own hells. I mean, this is a little bit more than that, but we create our own problems in a way.
Yeah.
Does that mean through the mind, through clearing the mind, through controlling the mind, can you solve your problems? Everything that is external is external, okay? If you're in debt, you're in debt. That's not gonna fix that. Money is not gonna appear, okay? You can control your reaction. You can control, maybe stop getting more in debt. Maybe you can control making bad decisions that got you in debt. Those kind of things. Okay. But I do believe we construct a reality in our minds. That for me, it's this notion that we live in a simulation. I totally disagree. A simulation is in our minds. I mean, I'm totally sure, mate, if there could be a way to plug something into us, a cable or something, and really see what's going on in you and in me and in everyone watching, we will get different results. I can assure you that.
Yeah, I think
we all see reality differently. Okay. So in a way, we are creating our own reality. So by that basis, that's a good thing that we all see reality differently, because that means we can maybe shift how we see the reality. And you start noticing what I've been saying a lot lately. You control your intentions, you control your reactions. So what does it mean? That doesn't serve me. I'm not going to go there. Okay. Watching TV doesn't serve me. I'm not going to watch TV anymore. That's a possibility. I know it sounds crazy for some people.
Some people.
I've been sharing with you that, especially in family engagements, I'm not been getting into politics. I've not been getting into discussions. And some people ask, but why? I don't have an opinion.
Yeah.
But Trump and Kamala, and I don't want to say anything. I don't know. I don't care. I want to shout. I don't care. Okay, it's not. I don't know. I don't care.
It's a circus.
Yeah,
it's a circus.
So and if you think about it, it's amazing that people still believe me, that there are good politicians out there. They understand they're all part of the same play.
Yeah.
It's like saying this is a good actor and this is a bad actor. They're actors.
All actors.
Exactly. All actors, okay. There's not good or bad. Maybe you like one and you don't dislike the other. That's fine. Yeah. But don't put good or bad, because that's just silly, man.
Yeah. It's just a circus. It's just literally the Truman Show, the film. It's all rigged. Everything's rigged. And they need, it's like you said about if they could plug the cable in their head and see what
we see. Yes.
Yeah, that led me on to the Matrix, when they put a cable in the back of their neck, in the back of their head, and then they're not actually there. They're in a pod, or the ones that escaped are in another place in a ship. But then they plug the cable in, and they're back in the Matrix. So it's like the Matrix is our mind, what's in our head. So the TV.
Sorry to interrupt you. That's what I mean with the cable. That this idea that we're in a simulation, the simulation is in our minds. And we all create a different simulation. It's not the same. We think it's the same. But we all create a different reality, because it all depends on us. So that's a good thing. That's what I'm trying to say. You have some control.
I agree.
If we all will create exactly the same reality no matter what, then there's very little to do. Okay.
Yeah. But you're saying we have a choice in how we create a reality.
Mm-hmm.
That's like having the cable pulled out. It's pulling the cable out. But when you plug it in again, when you put it back in, you've got the TV, religions, sports, radio, magazines, fashion. That's putting the cable back in. That's the Matrix. So your indoctrination, your programming is with the cable put in. When you pull the cable out, You're in the present, and that's when you have free will, your choice.
Because when that happens, what you have in your hat doesn't happen.
That's it. That's it.
They when they plug the cable, whatever this metaphor, okay, when you are plugged into the matrix,
Yeah.
and you and I have to go back to what my very dear uncle said. If I didn't see it on TV,
That's
didn't
it.
happen. That's the
100%.
matrix. That's the matrix
100%. That's
unplugged.
it. You got it.
Unplugged. Okay. If the telejournal is a newscast, but it's a religion.
Yeah.
You have BBC. What's the name of the BBC newscast? Is there a BBC News or
Yeah. Just BBC News.
and it's what 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or BBC One?
I
know
used to
it's-
watch. I know about 6 years ago. I watched the last time I watched properly. It was, I think it's 6 o'clock in the morning till 9. You got the morning. They call it breakfast. It's just called breakfast.
3 hours.
Yeah, 3 hours of
3 hours
probably
work.
two people sitting on a chair talking about God knows what. Just yep. And it finishes at 9. Then you have a news at 1 p.m.
Yeah, semi
And then
1 and 1:30.
Sure. And then at 6 p.m. And then you have a 9, I think it's 10 p.m. So you've got it all the time. And there's 24-hour news on BBC Two, I think, goes around the clock. So all night till it's 24 hours. And if you want to sit there and watch it all day and all night, you can. So
Yeah, in Italy it's the same. They have Rai News, which is 24 hours, but the Rai 1 and Rai 2, which are very old, is the equivalent of BBC 1, BBC 2.
sure.
What they will do is in Rai 1 is from 1 to 1:30. In Rai 2 is from 1:30 to 2 o'clock. And then at night is 8 o'clock to 8:30 on Rai 1, 8:30 to 9 on Rai 2. Well, by the way, basically the same news. Maybe a couple of new developments. And I remember, so when I was at my uncle's house, 1 o'clock, it was like, let's have lunch because the telejournal is coming, the news are coming.
Sure.
So he will be eating and no, listen to it.
Absolutely.
And then by 1:30 was okay, let's talk now. So, oh no, let's switch to channel 2. Because
Okay.
it was like, and I was like, didn't I hear this or half an hour ago? I mean,
I suppose it's
so
repetition, isn't it?
talk about indoctrination. Like that's, I
Yeah,
mean, that basically whatever I don't wanna think of those what they will say in 2020 or something like that. That I don't want to go there, but so that's when you kind of relinquish yourself and say, I'm gonna go back. And as I say, we're talking schools. Then you end schools, let's say university, you're 22, 21, 23. Then you have to go to work. And then 30 years, 40 years. And then you retire. And I think that's when you get a little piece and then you die. And that's life.
Yeah. Sad, isn't it?
It's
also the way I see it as well is when it's like your uncle, billions of people do it, watch the TV obsessively. And it's like, I just heard the story, but I need to listen to it again to make sure I remember it so that I've got something to tell my friends and talk about with them. So it's kind of repetition to drum it into our heads, to people that watch it, so that they don't forget it. So they've got a story to tell their friends and chat about. But it's also being in the matrix, like being plugged in is a choice. So you don't realize you're making a choice by being in the matrix, but you are. Only when you step out of it and realize what you was involved with, can you see that you are now free. But when you're in the matrix, when you're plugged in, you don't have any free will because you can't see another option. You can't see a different world. It's because you're in it, you're immersed in it. So it's like you're underwater. You're literally underwater and the system is keeping their foot on your head. And it's like, no, chucking stories at you, keep you underwater, keep you submerged, keep you immersed in this matrix. Don't come up for air. You stay under the water and we're going to throw more stories at you, more ideas, more religions, and don't come up for air, whatever you do. And when you come up for air, it's like I'm being unplugged. And you go, oh, I'm alive. What's happening? Oh, I can feel my breath. I can taste my food. I can hear things. What's going on? They're like, put him back in the water. Shut him up. So only when you're outside of it do you have a choice. So now I'm awake, I can go, I have a choice. Do I want to go back into the Matrix? Like Cypher, the guy said, I know this steak isn't real, but I like the taste of it. And he wants to go back in the Matrix. He had a choice and he took the choice to go back in. But some say, right, I'm out now. I'm not going back to that again. That's a circus. That's crazy. But you can't have a choice when you're in it. You have to wake up at least once to realize there is a choice to come out of that. And it's literally once you have a choice, you're submitting your will. You're literally submitting your will to the system, saying, yeah, you take my will, you take my free will, and do with it what you want, because I don't want it anymore. And it's literally giving up. You're giving up.
And it's so obvious, mate. But yeah, it goes back to questioning, as you say, questioning everything, basically saying, I don't agree. Just because it was on TV, I don't care. I mean, if it was on the newscast, so what?
Yeah.
That doesn't make it real. That doesn't make it okay. So I remember one time I was at my aunt's and uncle's house many times. I always will say they will treat me better than Club Med or Four Seasons or
Yeah.
something like that, because they will pamper me a lot, and especially my aunt, she will take me coffee to bed and stuff like that. And for me, but I
good.
remember one December that I was actually working in London, that I went there to spend Christmas and New Year's, because going to Italy was an hour and a half flight, so it was very doable. So I spent there 10 days with them. And all days, mate, they had about this Dr. Labella, which allegedly they were totally destructing him in the newscast every day, mate, because he had found, I'm not going to say it to not get the video in trouble, but he was curing people of that disease, the big disease, okay?
Yeah.
So instead of saying, hey, maybe there's something there, maybe what is he doing differently?
Yeah.
Every day, mate, they were showing apparent testimonies, how he was a fraud, he was charging people, how he was all a lie.
Yeah.
And so it stuck to me, the story, mate. And months after, I mean, I was not in Italy. I think I was in an airport, because I was doing a lot of traveling with that job. That was when I went to Qatar, and Finland, and Egypt, and many other places.
Nice.
And I think it was in an airport, maybe in London. Suddenly they had Dr. Labella died, killed or something. I mean, accident or something like that. They say it was a car that came out of nowhere and just ran him over. No one saw the plates. No one saw the model of the car.
Yeah.
And so it stuck to me, mate, because that kind of when this system wants to really feed you a story, it's so obvious that they are manufacturing it.
Yeah.
For me, I remember being with my uncle and he said, see, they're saying that he's a fraud. That's what they are saying.
Yeah.
Does it make sense to you that a person that's not wealthy, that that apparently is not charging anything? I mean, why would he come up with these stories and do this just to get his face in TV?
Yeah.
I mean, because you have to see, you have to analyze things, mate.
Yeah.
And
people don't.
And I don't know if you saw the movie, very good movie, Wag the Dog. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Good.
How they manufacture things.
Yes.
Okay. And they even manufacture a war with Albania or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was a one-day war, and they would put a lady in there with a box of Doritos or something of chips.
Yeah.
And they will change that to a cat. Did you see that?
CGI, wasn't it?
CGI. Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah.
And then they will say, no, the war is over, but a soldier is left behind in enemy lines, so it's coming, and then he died, so he died, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And then, it's that way, mate. It's all narratives, it's all an agenda, it's all what they wanted to be. For me, it was so depressing that few days, because every day was talking about this doctor.
Yeah.
Don't they have any new news? I mean, and they started talking. I remember telling my uncle and my aunt, they're gonna say that he's a fraud.
Yeah.
They said it yesterday. They are reinforcing. They are programming you.
Exactly.
They are making it stick in your head that there's no cure for this thing. Only the cure they provide.
That's it.
Don't go and look for other cures. It's only the one will provide.
That's exactly, mate. Repetition. Drum it in. Repetition, repetition, repetition. And also with people, sorry, there's another film called Newsbenders. It was on the
I
BBC.
don't know that one. Is it
Yeah.
English? It's
It
UK?
it was UK,
Okay.
BBC. It's black and white. It was made in, I think, the 60s.
I'm
But it's
gonna
still
look for it. But
it's
it's
still on,
similar
yeah.
to Wag the
Look at
Dog?
yes, exactly like Wag the Dog. It's
Okay.
called Newsbenders. And it's black and white. It stars Donald Pleasance. The old,
Oh, good
do you know
actor.
Donald Pleasance? He's in it.
Yes, good
And
actor.
another two guys in an office talking. It's only about 30 minutes, but it's like the Wag the Dog's exactly the same. But the thing with that is, Alex, is that when people watch TV and live their life, they're living their life at such a fast pace. Like they cram everything into it. Oh, I've got no time. I've got to rush. I've got to do this. I've got to do this. Oh, this program's on. Let's watch this. And what's on after this? What's on after that? So when they hear a story about a doctor who's telling them something alternative view, they're like, oh, okay. Oh, listen to this. Yeah. Oh, he's a liar. The news said he's a liar. Yeah, he's a liar. What's
Like,
next? What's next? So they don't even think about it. They're on to the next thing. So there's not even a space where they go, hold on a minute, he's a doctor, he's got no money. Why would he lie? They haven't even got that little space between programs to critically think. Why would he do? No. They hear it, they go, okay, oh, he's a liar. Right, what's on telly now? What's on next? Yeah, turn it over. They don't think, you know? So,
because you believe, mate, same as Wag the Dog. You believe what you see, what you hear, what you smell, what you
yeah,
touch.
it's
Because you
amazing
go, you
what they do.
you don't have that extra sense of saying, does this make? I mean,
Yeah.
I remember saying, why every day about this doctor? They already said it yesterday. Okay, he's a fraud. Fine.
Yeah.
But why do they need to do it one time and the other and the other? Because
Yeah.
he's making waves. Because he
Yes.
really is into something. That's the reason they really have to insist. And they kept saying, please don't contact him. Please don't believe the stories. Please go to your
Yeah.
doctor. Don't believe this guy. What they're telling me is believe this guy. There's something
Yeah.
there. Okay.
Yeah. It resonates, doesn't it?
Same with, I'm not gonna say it because they're not gonna like it, mate. But same that during that stuff a few years ago,
Yeah.
there was this alternative thing that they say was for horses and that, remember? And now
Oh yeah. Yes.
and now they say it's great. Okay. But they what do they keep saying every day? Oh, it's for horses, not for humans. And
That's it. I remember that. Yeah. But it's amazing. I think Rommel or Hemp, one of the German SS Nazis, he said, if you're going to tell a lie, tell a big lie. He says, the bigger the lie, the more chance people will believe it. So don't tell little lies, tell whoppers, tell massive big lies. And people will listen and go, oh, it must be true. No one would tell a lie like that. It must be true. So
yeah, and
yeah,
also the force of the machine, because
yeah,
of course the Nazis were experts in propaganda. Okay. I
yeah,
mean, they have a machinery of propaganda.
that's
Like,
it.
basically, they will say anything. They were winning, they were not winning, and they will say whatever. As long as you say it, people are gonna believe it. Okay.
Yeah,
I agree with that. The bigger the lie, the louder the lie.
yeah,
As you keep saying it, time over time, people will say, "Oh, it must be true." Okay.
yes,
This the government we have right now here, man. They just keep repeating stuff.
yeah.
And some people say, where is this coming from? I mean, no one is
You know,
believing
yeah,
it anymore, but they keep saying, oh, no, everything's fine.
yeah,
We're doing great and stuff. But it's not even wishful thinking. It's almost Alice in Wonderland. Okay.
yeah,
But they have this system, same as in Venezuela, same as in Cuba, same as in Bolivia,
yeah,
this leftist system
yeah.
that you just keep repeating stuff and people are gonna believe
It's
it.
all
And,
over.
and
Yeah,
apparently a big percentage of Mexico believes it.
yeah,
Okay.
that,
That's why I don't get into politics anymore, mate. Because
yeah,
I remember with a taxi driver a couple of years ago, we
yeah,
started talking politics. I had to stop because no, it's because the ones that are rich, they don't want us poor to get. That's what they're feeding you. That
yeah.
hate is the one they're
There's
feeding
stories.
you.
There's stories.
Stories, okay.
Yeah, honestly, that is it, mate. I think the mind, the barriers of the mind, are stories, are lies, stories, ideas, narratives, things we hear. And that's the barrier we need to like break through. Or not even break through, just turn our attention away from it. Because it's our attention that fuels it. It's like we're putting petrol into their stories, giving them legs, letting them run. So without our attention, their stories don't work. So it is literally stories that are barriers of the mind. They keep us in hostage up in here, like a lighthouse when you got the light in the middle, bright light, and you got the glass round it, and the light shines out. But the system puts boards up. It puts wooden boards all the way round. So you've got all these. It shuts the light in, all you've got is a little gap at the front. Like, what can I see? And it like literally, your lighthouse is boarded up with wooden boards. They give you one little gap there, right there, so you can follow what they're telling you.
Mate, we have gone around an hour. Do you have anything
That's gone
in
quick.
closing? Yes, one quick.
Wow. No, I just say stories, narratives are mazes for the mind. Stories, just question everything, question it all, and then you'll see the truth. You'll realise it don't make any sense. But yeah, great topic, mate. Appreciate it. It was good.
Thank you. It was great. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you, mate. Have a great
Thanks, mate.
weekend.
You too, mate.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for making it to this part of the video. This is my favorite part. This is where I suggest to you that you discover your true self. You are not what you have been groomed to believe. You are this incredible being without limits that has eternal life, amazing strength, infinite wisdom, and a big, beautiful heart. All your limits are always self-imposed. Your best version in this reality is inside you. Your only mission on this life is to become a beacon of love and to serve others. This version is ready to be discovered today. How do you discover your true self? The discovery process is a personal one. No one can do it for you. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to talk to the universe. Simply ask, who am I? Where do I come from? What is my purpose? You will start getting signs, breadcrumbs, and signals. You will notice how your notions about this reality start disappearing. No more hierarchies, no more competition, no more complaining, no more depending on others. Discovering your true self equals to real freedom. Your self-imposed limits will fall and you will be ready to understand this reality, but you must be patient to allow others to wake up at their time through their own free will. That will be really soon, you will see, and that will set up a new world. As you work towards your best version, you will notice how all emotions don't serve you anymore. Hate, fear, rage, pride, lust, envy, violence, justice through violence, judgment of others, and other emotions will disappear from your mind and heart. You will understand those emotions serve only your egoic mind and are not you. Please try to be understanding of others that don't think or feel like you. Everyone has a process. No one is right or wrong. We're all just different. Don't be concerned about being right, ever. Don't allow pride preventing you from patching things up with family and friends. It is very important you enjoy this life with your loved ones. Put in the work to patch things up and leave it to others to decide. Thank you very much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe. If you have any comments or suggestions, please use the comment section below. For private questions, conversations, and if you would like to appear on the show, please email me at hey@thealexshow.tv. Thank you again. Please don't forget to visit our website www.thealexshow.tv. By giving me your time, you honor me. Have a very, very, very nice day.